बरसों से जो विचलित थे उनके त्याग को सम्मान मिले। मंदिर में कथक और उनकी भक्ति से सियावर राम मिले। संतों की पावन नगरी में कथक लोक को खोया स्वाभिमान मिले। सदियों से चलती आई परंपरा को फिर वही गर्व और नाम मिले। Thank you so much. And feeling so honored to talk about this marvelous book, Kathak Lok, with Shobna ji and Geetika ji. Welcome to Bhopal. After reading this book, आपकी book मैंने पढ़ी और wonderful book, and my ideas, my narrative related to Kathak. Everything changed. 7 years of extensive research to know about existence of Kathak village. I have never heard about this word, Kathak village, and Kathak lok. How it all started.
First of all, I would like to thank the organizers and Mr. Raghav Chandra for inviting us and making us part of this beautiful literature festival. And has given us the opportunity to listen to fabulous discussions. Thank you very much indeed. And about the journey, actually, the journey did not begin 7 years ago. For me, it began long, long time ago, 2003. सबसे पहले तो, everybody will be thinking that Kathak Lok, what the hell does it mean? And they actually, when in 2003, when I was performing in the Bodh Gaya festival, a journalist asked me whether I would go to the Kathak village. And that sort of set me wondering. Next trip I did go, just which was a month later, found 3 villages, which was near Gaya, Kathak Bigha and 2 Kathak Grams. Took photographs, came back to Delhi, all excited, showed it to everyone in all walks of life, but predictably, no one believed it. They even refused to acknowledge the photographic evidences. So, but I kept on talking about it, except 2 persons. And then much later, in 2014, when I was looking at the census of India, then I found there were many Kathak villages with village codes. And that set, then I sat up, rang up Ministry of Culture, got, they also sat up, and that set me on my journey. And somewhere along the way, I was lucky for her that she joined me on the journey. And so that is how we found. And in the census code, we have about 8 to 10 villages with village census codes.
Okay.
And so, and today I found that there are, though at that point of time, we kept on finding more and more. But as of date, today, there are about 20, 21 villages.
Shobna ji, I want to ask, like Geetika ji joined you. She's a historian. आप dancer हैं, Kathak dancer.
Incidentally, my interest in history has always been there.
Yeah.
I've been, otherwise, because it was, the word Kathak first had intrigued me in the way back in the late 70s. I had talked about it and then found it. Then I went into all the museums, saw the sculptures, so did research on that. Then I did research. So history has been.
That's what I am saying कि you are like a dancer, तो आपकी curiosity समझ आती है. I want to ask Geetika ji कि how you joined and what urged you to be with Shobna ji.
Actually, like she was saying, she found the villages and she was telling everybody that there are these villages and we should find research in it, but nobody was sort of taking the bait from her. And I had just retired and we were on a trip together to go for a meeting on setting up a museum. And there she started telling me about this and she said, will you join me for research on this Kathak villages. So I said, wonderful. I mean, there's something to do, after retirement. So I said, great, wonderful. I will come with you. And so we set up the whole tour of UP and Bihar and everything, and then we started traveling. And even then, there was no this thing about writing a book or anything. I was there just to tag along kind of a thing. And but then as we go in, we in the seeing revenue records, talking to people, talking to the patwaris, talking to all that, and seeing all that was happening. And then she said, would you join me in writing the book? So I said, are you sure? Because it's your this thing. So she said, yes, we'll write it together. So that's how it began. And then we wrote it together. And she had done already so much research, and I joined in with some more research. And we went from UP and Bihar, then we went to Rajasthan.
7,000
Yeah,
kilometers.
then
You
there
all
was,
have traveled.
and the best part of the book was not the book what came out, was the fun that we had.
Okay.
That we can't write about. I'm sorry.
But at this point, I would like to say that when we thought about publishing the book,
Yeah.
we went first, approached a very well-known publisher,
Okay.
didn't bite. I said, "Oh, we only take, the usual taglines."
Ji.
And but then when I spoke to Renu, and then she had faith in us. Thank you, Renu. Thank you for having faith in us.
Thanks, Renu ji, because this book is something which everyone should read. Such a detailed study. मैं इसको देख रही थी, एक एक आपने नोटिफिकेशन से लेके विलेजेस के नाम इतना जाना, इतनी गहराई तक जाना, और इसको अपने पैशन को लेकर आप दोनों के जज्बे को सलाम है। और मेरी दो पंक्तियां आप दोनों के लिए। जब कर्म हर बाधा से खास हो जाए, जमाने को भी इसका आभास हो जाए। So on your journey to find Kathak village, traveling 7,000 kilometers, you came across Kathaks doing Nritya Seva. Your description about Pandit Ayodhya Sharan Mishra and many more Kathaks performing live on verses of Ramayana and watching them, the aura which you have described, both of you, वो क्या फील थी उनको जो ऑथेंटिक कथक देखना, और what will you say about that, your experience?
When we find, first of all, it's a big story. You'll have to read the book because then you'll know exactly where the curiosity and
हम
why
लूप होल्स छोड़ते रहेंगे।
why the two of us got excited when we said, aha, finally we're going to see some Kathak. So we thought we'd go there, watch for about 10 minutes, video it. This time we were very careful to video everything and photograph everything, etc., so that nobody says it. The documentary proofs are there. And I, so Ted, but the moment we sat down, and the only part is in the beginning, we got engrossed, both of us, at least that we got engrossed in how he was doing, narrating the story and telling it. And this was exactly what was described in chapter 1 of the Natya Shastra. कि किस तरह से the purpose, the vision and mission of the performing arts. Natya is everything together. And where that was exactly what he was doing. And that was to give values to the people. Now, the beautiful way in which he was talking and talking to people, and at the same time singing. They were fabulous singers. Singing, and then the rhythmic part of it, because the Shehri Kathak is more of rhythm. But this part was just a minimal to support it. So that was something very beautiful, and we got engrossed in that, the Kathanak. That is why Kathak kehla rahe. That is why they are called the Kathak community. So we had to even study the entire sociological thing, that which social order, what happens, their position in society. So that is a big study then that came through. The only part in the beginning, I was saying, oh, हाथ सीधा कर लो, जरा ये कर लो, like a good Kathak dance है, कि क्या अरे यार ये थोड़ा सा bending यहाँ होता है, ये हाथ ठीक है, ये करो. Then this one says, अरे चुप, You know. So then, no, but I was just muttering in the beginning. After that initial muttering, we lost ourselves and we stayed there for more than an hour.
वही वो देखना वो फील, जैसे आप खुद भी करते हैं गीतिका जी, आपको कैसा, यानी होपफुली क्योंकि आपने लिखा है कि आपको भी समझ आ रहा था कि वो क्या भाव बोल रहे थे, वो कौन सी कहानी सुना रहे थे, तो वो ऑरा क्या था, यानी बहुत खूबसूरत आप लोगों ने इसको डिस्क्राइब किया है बुक में.
I just take you back a little bit so to give the perspective to the audience. When we were going to the villages, wherever we would go, people would know that Kathak, there's a Kathak community, that there is a Brahmins who are called Kathaks. तो वो हम पूछते थे कहाँ है वो क्या है, then but only in one or two villages we actually found them, and then we were told that they would be in you would be able to see them perform in Ayodhya. So that is where Shovana is talking about. We went to Ayodhya, and the first person that we saw a Kathak Brahmin performing in a village was a man called Ayodhya, and she's described how it is. Now, as for me understanding it, I mean, by the way, I have seen Kathak performances before, so I could understand. But it was the audience comprised of children, women, men, and they were already in a temple, so the bhav was already there. And the way he sang and the way he, involved the people, everybody was involved. And that actually tells you how the story of Ramayana and Mahabharata and all the rest of it, how it is so popular and well known in our country. Because it is sung in villages, in temples, on a daily basis. So they take up some small incident and they sing it and then they explain it, which Kathaks now in the theaters are also doing, especially the senior Kathaks like Shobana do it. They tell you not only the surface meaning but also the deeper meaning of it. That is the beauty of this whole thing, and it's totally fascinating. Nobody claps, nobody does all that, they just watch in silence. And it's a beautiful experience. We recommend it to all of you after reading our book.
For example, there's one shlok in which he says, I'm taking up that shlok. He says, why is Ayodhya Puri the most